Handful of Air by Dan Gillen. Nitrogen, 59%. Hydrogen, 21%. Carbon dioxide, 9%. Methane, 7%. Oxygen, 4%. And a dash only of hydrogen sulfide. This I bottle and label. My friend Dominic designs the labels. So talented. To you, sir, madam? To you, £745. Such a small, such a little amount, really. Such a token sum to own this. Please, don't shake your Philistine heads. It is not, as you mutter, scraping the begrudged pennies together in your pockets. Just a fart. It is my fart. An artist's fart, and that makes all the difference. You might realise, in fact, you probably won't realise, that the work I have called it A Handful of Air is a tribute or homage to Pierre Manzoni. In 1961, Manzoni, the great Manzoni, Il Miglio Fabio, exhibited and sold 90 cans of his own shit. The price was pegged to the contemporary market price of gold, $1.12 a gram. In 2002, the Tate Modern paid $34,000 for can number 4 of Melder de Artiste. Then, of course, there's Wim Delvoye. He has a machine that generates synthetic shit, using a sequence of fermentation fats and masticating vessels, and discharges realistic stools through a mechanical anus onto a conveyor belt. He then sells them vacuum-packed, £1,000 a piece. So I say again, £745, such a small sum. Of course, if you don't feel my work is worth the investment of your lousy pennies, then that's fine. I've done without you so far. I can continue to do so. I've gone long enough without any help from the so-called art-buying so-called public. I've struggled. I can continue to struggle. I won't say it's easy, but I'll do it. And in any case, if you don't want to invest, there are plenty who do. I've had interest. There have been inquiries. I'm not saying Charles has been in touch. Charles Sarchi. But I'm not saying he hasn't either. I'm not saying that Jake and Dinos, Chapman, so talented, are interested in a collaboration. Oh no, I'm not saying Damien, that's Damien Hirst, is considering a very substantial investment. Didn't hear that from me. How about 700? I can go as low as 650. I'm used to people like you, you know. Yes, I've lived with people like you. What are you up to in the attic? He asked me. It's not an attic, it's my studio. I told him. Art, I said. Waste of time, he said. So I turned round and I said to him, fuck off, Dad. He never understood, neither of them did. They didn't understand that I didn't want to be an engineer like him or a teacher like her. I wasn't born, I wasn't meant for that sort of life. My first exhibition was called Messages from the Other Side. 144 individual sheets of toilet paper, each smeared with a different brown pigment. It addresses questions of mortality and language. My mum and dad didn't come. On the third day, someone put a brick through the window and they closed us down. I asked my dad if it was him who threw the brick. He denied it, but he was smiling. I didn't ask my mum, I didn't dare. And then, the light bulb moment. The eureka! The sudden, unexpected head slam of the artistic imperative. I spent the next 7 weeks washing out sauce bottles and eating pulses, beans, yes, but also lentils, chickpeas and vetch. I studied the science of it. It is, I learned, all a question of the potency of the polysaccharides. My diet was polysaccharide rich. Soon my work was underway, with each bowl of peas and chili, each plate of parboiled lentils. I grew more productive, prolific even. I was a prodigy of intestinal gaseosity. One day, when I was not at home, my dad admitted a plumber to service the hot water tank in the attic, sorry, my studio. He was carried out several minutes later in a state of partial asphyxiation and had to be given oxygen by ambulance personnel. Co-perniche, I am told he said, between wheezing tokes on the oxygen canister. I looked it up. What a fart. Such a robust language, Polish. I wish I could have spoken to the man. He would, I feel sure, I've had such rich things to say. Okay, 500. 450. I'll throw in an old bit of toilet paper from messages from the other side. Come on. If not for yourselves, for your children, and your children's children. This, ladies and gentlemen, is art for the ages. It's unique. It's very unique now. You know how the energy companies deliberately add an unpleasant smell to the natural gas supplied to the household gas mains, so that when there's a leak, people can smell it and take appropriate emergency action? That's what I think of hydrogen sulfide. It's present in each rectal exhalation in such small quantities, and yet, it's the danger whiff, the warning, bad egg signal, the olfactory alarm that says, get out, get away, clear the decks, run for your lives, run for your lives. The problem is if you have no sense of smell. Like my father, rugby accident, took a knee to the face, mashed his nasal nerves. We weren't allowed gas appliances in the house, safety measures. I mean, if only he'd asked me, if only he'd taken an interest just once and asked me about my art, I'd have told him about the lethally combustive cloud of methane and hydrogen in the attic. I'd have said, don't go up there, Dad, looking for your old rugby scrapbooks. And if you do that, then definitely don't light a cigarette while you're up there. I was out that morning. I was out at a gallery, trying to close a sale. I'd taken a bottle with me. One bottle. It's the only bottle that's left now. The rest were destroyed in the blast. They found my dad on the roof of the co-op 6 floors up. They never found my mum. The family cat got propelled through 2 layers of double glazing, but somehow it survived. It's just me and him now. Look, I can't go any lower than 400. Come on, now you know the story. Now you know it's got provenance. Now you know it's one of a kind. Editions don't come any more limited than this. I didn't close the sale at the gallery. The owner said the concept was very interesting, of course, and he liked the label, so Dominic will be happy. But he said, at the end of the day, all you've done is fart in a ketchup bottle, haven't you, son? He said it like that was nothing. And he looked at me like you are looking at me now. Like I was nothing. I got so mad, I almost took the lid off, just to teach him a lesson. But I'm so glad I didn't. This is a unique thing now. Unique, like me. Unregarded. Unappreciated. Nothing more than a handful of air.